When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
All right. So excited because what my catching up is I finally got my tattoo therapy. I've been waiting for so long, and I did. And so I went on Friday and I started my elbow. She didn't have enough time to finish it, so we just did the outlining of my elbow, the one I had to get done. And then I went back Saturday morning and I had my session to finish up my fallen angel on my abdomen. And it wasn't as bad because line work is always the worst. And so then she just did shading to finish it out. I didn't do color or anything, so it really was kind of a breeze. And I was so happy to have her finished. And she's so beautiful. I love it so much. So yeah, tattoo therapy is my favorite.
Complete for this month.
My favorite kind of therapy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's complete for this month. My other thing, I wanted to tell the listeners, if you were the winner of the sticker packs, I'm sorry, I really am the worst. I still haven't got them sent out, but I promise I will get them to you as soon as I can. I got to get some stamps, and then they'll be in the mail on their way. I promise. I'm sorry. And then I was going to just quickly talk a little bit because Father's Day is coming up, and I totally forgot about Father's Day.
You know.
I'm the worst. I always forget when Mother's Day and Father's Day is. Like, I really am like the worst child. But
Are you a gift giver for these?
No, I'm the gift.
I feel you.
Really, we just spend time together. That's what we do. Our family, we just try and get together and see our parents on, Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah.
I go and play with the kids and entertain, and I'm the entertainer of the kids most of the time.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully I don't know what this week. I didn't get to see my mom on Mother's Day because my little brother was sick, but I'm not sure what their plans are for this weekend, but hopefully I'll get to go see them. So
I'm going to go see my dad on Sunday. Yep. We're trying to figure out something to do with Rick on Saturday, but he didn't have a boat still since the fire.
Yeah,
we're still waiting
sad.
on insurance. Mm-hmm. And that's all he cares about right now is that our fish is getting low in the freezer. And I was like, if you want for Father's Day to spend the day with your friends fishing on Saturday, you can do that. Like, it's Father's Day. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But he hadn't named anything he wants to do, so I don't know what we're doing. But I'll probably cook something. I don't know. I'll just go to my dad's house and hang out with him for a while on Sunday. So, yeah.
But shout out to all the dads or the father figures.
Happy Father's Day.
We love you.
We do. The good dads.
Keep fighting the good fight.
If you're not a good dad, I don't even know why you're listening to us. Fuck off.
Get off this podcast right now.
We hate you. No.
You're not our target audience.
Yeah, no. Bad moms either. You too. Get out. Is there everything? I'm not going to cut you off if I catch up.
No, and then we're just in the second week of summer camp, and I'm still alive. So, that's that.
I mean, that's a plus.
That's getting up early. This is not
For the birds.
This is
About
not
early,
my vibe.
what is your idea of early?
Well, right now I'm waking up at 6, and that's
okay. That's early.
That's early for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to discount that. That's
really,
early.
It really is.
Yeah, that's me on a Saturday. But yeah,
sitting on the side of the bed this morning trying to
life.
get my will to live up, and of course Dante's just. Come on, get
Let's
out.
go.
I'm like, oh gosh.
God, what are you, Zeta?
If murder was legal, I would smother you with the pillow right now.
For my catching up, I briefly told this story on the other podcast, but Al really didn't give me a chance, and it was kind of a somber podcast. Once you listen to it, you'll know why. So I didn't really get to get into it, and I didn't feel like being funny, and so I couldn't make it funny because it was just kind of a sucky situation. But I did almost go to jail. I don't know if I would have gone to jail. I got the cops called on me.
Oh, that's bad enough.
Okay, so as we discussed before, I've been trying to get Zoe's shit out of storage.
Yes.
It's public storage. In case anyone was debating on putting their stuff in public storage, I feel 100% confident saying this on a podcast because it's 100% the truth. But for almost 3 months now, Zoe and I have been trying to get her stuff out of storage, and Zoe lost her keys in the move. And so we needed them to, unlock it and everything. And we've had issues with them answering the phone, to putting the right lock on it, being there. Like, we can't get them to answer the phone to save their lives. And there's 2 locations, right? We finally got a hold of the one location. We went down there last week. We got Zoe's stuff out, half of it. We were going back Saturday to complete it. They were not going to charge us another month. They were reimbursing us for part of the previous month.
Nice.
And so that's fine. Okay, we'll work with that. But I still couldn't get a hold of the other location. And it's just right down the road from the location that we're on. The one that I am discussing is the one on South Congress in Austin, Texas, in particular.
Very specific here.
And so on Friday, Zoe finally got a hold of them. And she was like, listen, we're going to be in town tomorrow finishing up the other move. I've been asking y'all. Y'all repeatedly said you'll get it done. It's been months now. We don't want to keep paying because you can't seem to get someone over there to unlock it, because y'all are telling me one guy does it every 2 to 3 weeks. Well, how did they get the guy over there and you can't?
Right.
And actually we started trying to get this one first, because originally in my head I couldn't move both at the same time. We were going to do the little one first and the big one, but the little one wouldn't call us back. So we started focusing on the big one. And so she finally got a hold of them on Friday, and they were like, nope, it's still not. We still have the core lock on there, and he's got to come still. It's not ready. And so Zoe's like, come on, y'all. Like, what's it going to take? We're going to be here tomorrow. It's our 5th trip there. Like, come on. Nope, it's not ready. Like, we don't give a shit, So then the next day we go into, the one that we actually got the stuff out of. And we tell them, hey, can you try to get a hold of them and see what you can do? And they do. And they call over there, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's done. They can come on over and get their stuff. Okay. And talk to them about it and all that. And so we're like, okay. So we finish up there, and I'm like, let's go right now. Let's do this now. So we drive straight over there, and we get there, and Zoe walks in to get the keys, and they're like, here's your keys to the lock part that you've been needing, but the other lock's still on there because you need to pay again. As of that day. That's the day when the new billing cycle came out.
Oh my gosh.
Why? Why? I've been trying to get into this unit for months. Why? You wouldn't let me in the unit. Why am I still paying? So she comes out, and she's like, oh my God, they're not going to let us in it, unless we pay. And it's another $220. So I'm like, So, and they had told me they have a new manager. So I thought she's just not in the loop, So I go in, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we've been for 3 months calling y'all, and you won't answer the phone, and you won't. Like, we have been 3 months. Why am I still paying when you're the one that can't do the job? Like, I need in this unit now. I'm here. I want in it now. And I'm not paying anymore because you're the reason we haven't gotten in it. It's been 3 months. You told us it'd take 2 weeks. We are willing to pay for 2 more weeks waiting. We lost the key. That's understandable.
Yeah.
3 months, not understandable.
No, not at all.
And I was like, we're not paying, and you're giving us the key. She comes from around the corner of her counter. I'm not in there 20 seconds. I'm not yelling, anything. She comes from around the corner, gets in within an inch of my nose.
Oh.
What are you going to do about it?
Oh, my gosh.
Because I'll drop the bitch. I said, what?
That was the wrong move.
I said, are you fucking kidding me? You're the fucking problem. You're the one that won't answer the phone. We have called you, emailed, reached out everywhere. We've called other locations, asking them to call you. We have a paper trail. Are you kidding me? And you're the new manager? She goes, you need to leave. You need to leave. And then her coworker comes out. And she was like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Because I didn't step back. I bucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, I'll go. I said, hit first.
Y'all got security cameras?
I said, I don't give a fuck. I'll let her hit first.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I said, hit first. You want to get in my face? Fucking hit first. I'm going to finish the job, but you go first, because I won't call the cops, but your pussy ass will. Go. No, you leave. I said, no, you got in my face. Let's go. No, you leave. I said, no, let's go. You want to get in my face? Let's do it. Her little coworker, I'm calling the police. I said, call them.
Yeah.
Call him.
I'm not the one who came around the desk.
I'm not the one that came around the desk. And I was like, you got in my face within 20 seconds of me walking in here. And you're the one that's not answering your fucking phone. You suck. Y'all suck at your job. You know you suck at your job. And I see what you're doing. And I'm not paying another fucking dime. She goes, you got to leave now. I knew at that point I will go to jail because I'm about to hit the bitch. So I left. Let me tell you, I have been trying to get a hold of their district manager since Saturday. He won't call back either.
Oh my gosh.
I told Zoe, your shit's gone. I'm not giving them another dime. I am not giving them another dime. I do not give a fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? So everybody listening to this, feel free to reach out to Public Storage on South Congress. Will you get a hold of them? No, you won't, because they don't answer the fucking phone. But I looked at their Yelp reviews, and the most recent review was from like a month ago, and it was a guy saying the exact same thing. Not about that she got in his face, but that he had been trying and trying and trying to get in his unit, and they won't answer the phone, and he doesn't live in town. So every time he would come and come and come, and nobody would be there. Like the same story.
That's crazy.
So do not use Public Storage. And I'm not done. I will get a hold of them. I don't give a shit if I get the shit back at this point. I just need them to know what happened.
Man, I would have waited for the cops to get there. I'm
I
like,
would
look,
have.
this is what happens, and this is what they said, and they won't let us get our stuff.
And they're still not going to, though. I knew they still wouldn't, because they're, what do they know? Right. They don't see the paper trail.
You needed somebody with some bolt cutters.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't take shit lightly. We will handle it the best we can.
Right.
So that's part of my catching up. The other part is I did have to go back to Austin fucking again. But again, I got to stay with my sister, whom I love, and had a great visit with her. And then I took Zolda's time, my youngest son, for they don't listen all the time. And I made him get up super early and Zoe get up super early. And I'm talking like we were at Barton Springs by 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And because, Barton Springs, for those who don't live in Texas, Barton Springs is beautiful. Google it, Barton Springs, Austin, Texas. And they have like a paid pool where you can pay to go in. It looks like a pool, but it's a natural spring. It's technically a creek, and they've turned into a pool. And that pool's been there 80, 90 years. I grew up going there, and it's topless, optional. So in the 70s, no one wore tops. I didn't wear tops as a kid. Like nobody did. And it wasn't weird to me because I was a hippie. Now, a little weird. Not my thing, but teach their own, And it's still topless, optional. And so you would love it, Kelly, actually.
I would.
So my breasts have breastfed, so not as cute. And so I'm like, we're going to take Zoe because, I've been going there with Zoe doing this. And a lot of times I'll go with just the big kids, because taking the teenagers, it makes it more expensive. It just makes it, there's more beds you got to find. Like, it's just more to it. But I was like, no, we're taking Zoe. Zoe would love this. And he wanted to see his brother. My son lives there. So my oldest son and his girlfriend met us there in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning.
Nice.
And I thought that was awesome. They got up on a Saturday morning and met us. And he brought his paddleboard. And so we went to the free side. I prefer the free side. I mean, the paid side is cool if you want to like swim like in a pool atmosphere. I prefer the free one if you're gonna do any kind of kayaking or paddleboarding or whatever. I'm just more of a natural element girl. So we went over there, and we went so early. There was really not many people there at all. So it's like we had the whole area to ourselves. We had first pick on the location. We had the paddleboard. We had a great time. It was wonderful. I will say that we set up our little camp thing for the morning. And then I look over, and there's like first thing I do when I get there is I pick up trash. If there's any trash in my little camp thing, because Austin has a homeless problem. So sometimes the homeless people are down there bathing or whatever, They're not there that early usually. That's part of the reason we were there so early. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to just kind of pick up. I will say there was a very strong odor of marijuana the entire time. Everybody openly, and in Texas, this is kind of unheard of. Everybody openly smoking out, like, as they're kayaking by. It was hilarious. I love Austin for that. It was really funny. But I'm like cleaning up the area, and I like pulled a fork out of the water. And the water is very clean, so don't get me wrong. But it's got a lot of traffic. A lot of people go there. Yeah. And so I'll just kind of keep there. And we all wear shoes in there. But I picked up a fork out of the water. I found a fish hook. Somebody had been fishing. I picked that up. And then I'm like surveying like the little area around us. I found a fucking bag of mushrooms. Someone had obviously just lost it because it was a very clean bag.
Yeah.
It was full of, and I'm like, oh my God. So I pick it up and I show the kids. I'm like, I just found a bag of mushrooms. They're like, awesome. What are you going to do with them? I was like, I'm going to leave them here. I don't think, what is this? I'm going to leave them here, and we're not going to touch other people's drugs, children. There could be fentanyl in this. Plus, how old are we? We're not doing mushrooms. And they were joking. And so I'm like, okay, so we joked about it. So then we swam, whatever. I just kind of hid them underneath the root because I didn't, want someone to find them and something happened. Well, this guy shows up right before we're leaving, and he shows up with his dog, and the dog immediately goes towards the mushroom. And so I have to tell him, like, hey, I just found a bag of mushrooms over there. He's smelling mushrooms. I don't want him to eat them. He was like, oh, you don't want them? I was like, no, dude, I don't know. What are you talking about?
I don't know where those came from, okay?
And I don't want to, I'm old, dude. I don't want to do that shit. So that's Austin for you.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, that's Austin for you. And we left, and it was wonderful, and we had a good time. So
that's good.
It ended up being a good day. So that was, other than the fact that I almost got arrested.
Well,
that happened about an hour and a half later. We made it back. I have determined that when I get really mad, like if I'm truly mad, like I'm mad, I'm seething. Do you have a go-to music you listen to when you're really mad?
Not necessarily.
I do.
I usually try to go the opposite and cool down. I'm not a rager.
I'm going to escalate it.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Personally.
You're kind of like the crier that listens to sad music when they're sad so that you'll cry harder.
I don't do that.
No.
But I do like 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that is one of my all-time favorite albums. Mm-hmm. And I know every word to every single song. And that is what I'm going to listen to. And
yeah,
so
I can see that.
If you hear me and you see me singing along to it,
just watch out.
Just watch out.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So
Good to know.
I did make my children listen to the entire album the entire way home.
Oh, well, that's good. That's just good parenting.
I'm clearly. It's not I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal. It's a different album. No.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, if the devil wants to fuck me in the back of his car. That is a lyric from that song. For that album. But anyways, we made it through. We survived. That's my catching up.
That's good. I could really use a trip to play in some water.
I like how you look like you have these
sure.
crazy weekends. And then every time we catch up...
Well, it's hard. Summer is hard for me, man. I can't go anywhere. I can't.
We need a girls' weekend.
And then by the weekend, I'm just like, I just want to lay in bed and not move because every muscle hurts.
Yeah, I feel you. Well,
but yes, I really need a girls' weekend.
We really need one.
So bad. And I was watching, I saw this video the other day about, and I sent it to you. It was the doctor talking about what's best for sciatica pain.
I loved it.
And one of the best things that you can do for sciatica pain is to float in water. Yeah. And he said just to stand in water and float. And if you have a floaty that you can put your arms on, it's even better.
Yeah, so you're like vertical.
Yeah. And he said that's like the best thing that you can do to relieve sciatica pain. I was like, that's exactly what I need. Yeah. I need to get in some water pronto.
Yeah.
That's top of the list.
All right. Well, we're going to make it happen.
All right, good. I need it.
Me too.
Hey, Zeta, you know what time it is?
What time is it, Kelly?
It's time to pop the top
on the topic of the day. Okay, today's subject, we're going to talk about being judgmental.
Yeah.
I had something come up. I recently had a conversation with one of my kids about a conversation she had with her friends. And in the conversation, we were talking about being judgmental and how it affects you.
Yeah.
And not necessarily always does it affect you if someone's judging you. Sometimes other people judging other people in front of you can affect you.
Yeah.
So basically, she came to me and was like, hey, my friends were talking and they didn't involve me in a conversation. And I'm wondering why. What do you think? And I don't think this was the reason, the more we talked about it, but it did make me really think because, and I gave her the example of when I was married. And I'm not trying to throw my ex-husband under the bus because this is many, many years ago and I'm sure he's changed. But when we were married or dating even, he was very judgmental of other people and would she wears too much makeup. She didn't wear enough makeup. She's too fat. She's too thin. She shouldn't wear that. Why do they drive that?
Yeah.
Look at that house. Just, any kind of judgment you can put out there. And I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised like that. And so that was very foreign to me, and I didn't understand it. And I can remember having a discussion with him. I'm like, the negativity of it was a very heavy weight for me.
Yeah.
And especially at that age, I was a kid. I was 16 when I met him, And so I was just like, finally, when I was like 18, I was like, dude, no one cares what you're doing. No one cares what you wear. No one cares what your hair's cut like. Like, none of this affects anybody but you. Mm-hmm. And so all you need to worry about is what makes you happy. Like, stop worrying about what other people think about you, and stop worrying about what other people are doing. Yeah. Like, you're putting some negative energy out there, basically. And I can remember it really bothering me. But he didn't stop because he couldn't. I mean, his mom is the same way, and not on purpose. It's probably the way she was raised, you know? And like, she would close her curtains really a certain way because she was worried people were looking in and taking inventory of her home. And I just can't live like that, I guess. And so it got to where it really bothered me. So we've discussed how I didn't wear makeup really until you and I were friends. And I was like, hey, I'm getting older and I kind of need to learn how to wear makeup. Like, I've never worn makeup. And I've always thought makeup looked great on people. I didn't have a problem with makeup. I didn't know how to apply it because in the years you normally had to apply it, my significant other was anti-makeup because only whores wear a lot of makeup. Like, that's what was inbred into me from him.
Yeah.
So obviously if he thinks that, even if I don't think that, I don't want him to think it about me.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it, even if I wanted to do it. And why is she wearing that? So I wouldn't wear that. And why she cut her hair like that? So I wouldn't cut my hair like that. And it just snowballs.
Yeah.
And it really affected me. And by the time when we got divorced, I really had to take notice to all these things he had put in my head that I didn't agree with, but I followed because I worried about what he thought. Mm-hmm. So how I dressed, how I fixed my hair, if I wore makeup, how I talked, what music I listened to, whatever it was. And I really had to deprogram myself from that. And it was a lot of work. I mean, I had to put a lot of work into it. And it was also a huge goal of mine to teach my kids not to do that. And I saw how it affected my self-esteem, because if he thinks she's fat and she's thinner than me, if she's too skinny and I'm skinnier than her, or if her hair's too short and my hair's shorter, or, you just really start thinking about it. And it really, really affected me. And honestly, it was part of the divorce. Like, I really couldn't take it anymore. I could not take hearing someone talk so negative about so many people all the time. And he would say negative things about people and be nice to their face. Mm-hmm. And that bothered me because I was like, well, you just, what's going on here? Are you doing this to me? And so that's kind of where the conversation went, and that I had with my kid, was because I was like, so, are you judgmental? Do you think that your friend's not telling you things because they think you're going to judge them? And she's like, no, they know I love them. Like, they know I wouldn't judge them. I wouldn't judge. I said, yeah, but are you judging others in front of them? It doesn't mean you're judging them. You're judging others. How do they know you're not also judging them when they're not around? Yeah. And she was like, oh. And I was like, do you think you do that? And she was like, yeah, I guess I do. I mean, I don't purposely do it, but yeah, I think I do that sometimes. And I was like, well, what would you think if they did the same thing? Are you the most judgmental one of them? And she was like, yeah, I think I am. I was like, well, there's where I don't know if that's the real problem, but it is a problem.
Yeah. And that's really hard to admit.
Yeah.
That's good. Kudos for her that she actually took that time to self-evaluate.
Totally self-evaluated. She's like, what can
be honest.
And she said, well, what can I do to be less judgmental? Like, what? And I was like, well, for one thing, why do you care what other people are wearing? You need to be less judgmental of other people. You need to figure out what's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. And why?
Yeah. Figure out why you're even doing that. Because a lot of it is programmed.
Learned.
Yeah. Especially this day and age, everything is so put under a microscope and judged.
Yes.
And that's what people do. It's like they people watch and they talk about people, they take pictures of people, they video people doing
screenshot things
weird
that they know that.
Yeah. And it's a whole culture thing. Like the people in Walmart thing. Like people look out for things that they can post to get likes and shares and, get people reacting to it. And that breeds into these kids' mind that, oh, I need to be looking at people and what they're doing and what they're saying and what they're wearing and how they're acting to see what what input I can give off of it. And that's not what you need to do. And the whole people roasting everybody.
Yeah.
All of it is a snowball effect of judging people and picking people apart and what can I say and what dig can I get in, and that's what the kids think is acceptable.
And then on top of that, these people they're roasting and they're tearing apart are not even presenting their real selves, because they're typically getting it from social media where there's a filter and there's a fake storyline even. I mean, how many people have these fairy tale social medias that in real life it is not that?
Yeah.
And then you have other people, comparing yourself to them. Yeah. And so it just kind of snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And, there's just a lot that can be taken from that. Like, first off, what you're seeing on social media isn't real. And even what you're seeing, if you don't know this person deep down, it's not real. But even if it is real, how's it affect you?
Yeah.
How's it affect you? And, whether it looks great or it looks bad for them.
Yeah.
And really, part of what I did to get myself to not come across as that person and to hold myself accountable to not be that person was I kind of developed, like I've said before, I turned my Facebook years ago into kind of a blog. And I treated it less like most people, where it's a Facebook where they're legit just normal Facebooking. Now I do more so. Now I'm just like once every 2 or 3 days, I'll post a picture, like an old picture that pops up on my memories or whatever. Not a lot. But I used to be a little bit more active. But I treated it as a blog, particularly when I was single, because it was funny. Dating when in your 30s is funny. It's stupid. You meet stupid people that like, and it's funny. It's not stupid like bad, but like funny. And you go through awkward stages and you do stupid things, and your kids are stupid like in a funny way, and you're funny with them. And I just made it a blog that was somewhat deprecating. That's the word I was looking for. But making fun of myself to make myself look more human to others, to give them a reason to laugh at themselves as well.
Yeah.
Because when I make fun of me, it takes all the power of you making fun of me away.
Very true.
So you want to talk about my haircut? That's great. I beat you to the punch. Now, am I serious? Do I think lowly of my haircut? No, but it's funny. And that's really my way of combating my ex-husband being judgmental, was to take that power back.
Yeah.
And part of taking that power back was to think I'm funny making fun of myself. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know I do stupid things, and I know I say stupid things, but I also know it's from my heart, and I don't do things to be mean and evil. And I don't really, I call my kids my assholes. They know I don't really think they know I'm joking. They know they can be assholes. And I make a joke out of it because that's life. Kids can be assholes. It's okay. It doesn't mean I don't love them, or I don't think the world of them, or they're not great kids. But we all go through asshole stages, myself included, all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just try to turn it around to make them feel to make others see that it's okay not to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess another 20, 30 years if it worked with my kids, or if I just broke them down.
Yeah. So I was actually talking to the kids at the club just the other day about, because with them, they're so young and they are getting all these, different ideas and how to talk and how to talk about people, how to perceive people, and it's so crazy from all these different angles and social media and stuff like that. So I really try to, as much as I can, instill into them more positive ways of thinking and approaching things and talking to people. And so it started off as a very simple conversation. One of the girls was talking about the way her mom laughs. And she said that, she laughs like a witch, like a crazy little witch laugh. And so, and she's like, and me and my, siblings, we just, we're like, make fun of her basically because of her laugh. And I was like, well, why do you do that? And she's like, because she has a witch's laugh. I was like, okay, but that's your mom laughing. That means your mom's having a good time. She's happy. She's laughing about something. That's a good thing. You should want that for your mom.
Right.
So why would you make fun of it? And she's like, well, Liz wasn't making fun of it. We just make a face at her. I was like, what kind of face? And so she showed me this weirded out face. I was like, that's still making fun of her. Like, that's making fun. And she's like, how? I was like, you can judge someone and you can make fun of someone without saying a word. And she's like, how? I was like, your expressions and the way that you react to somebody can be making fun of them. I was like, you don't realize that. Just the way that you look, the way that the faces that you make at someone can make them feel bad about themselves. It can make them feel less about themselves. Like, you have to watch everything that you do. It's not just what you say, it's the way that you react and your facial expressions that you make towards them.
And you're not just affecting her mom in this circumstance, but your siblings are making note that I can't really laugh like I laugh, or I can't be myself because even my siblings will make fun of my mom.
Yeah.
And it does more damage, not just to the person. Your mom's probably got a thick skin and she can handle it. But your sibling that might be 10 and is getting bullied at school is taking note too.
Yeah.
And
like, I got to worry about the way I laugh. Like, really? And that's why I was like, your mom's laughing. She's happy. You should be happy that your mom is happy.
And I'm going to tell you, you're going to miss that laugh one day.
Exactly. That's what I was like, definitely you need to work on not reacting that way when your mom laughs.
Yeah.
If anything, if you think the way that your mom laughs is funny, just laugh.
With her.
Just laugh because she's laughing funny.
Yeah, not at her.
And because it's
with
funny.
her.
And that's a positive way to do that because, I thought that was funny, so I'm going to laugh.
My sister India has the most over-the-top laugh. Have you heard her?
Yes.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's my favorite laugh. I absolutely love it about her, and so does everybody else in my family. Do we make a joke about it? Yes. Is it a positive joke? Also, yes.
Yes.
When she laughs, we're like, oh my God, I love that laugh. I love her. It's so genuine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't ever hold back your laugh to satisfy a room.
Exactly.
And I think that, we often miss conversations like these because you don't even think about how it affects other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it hadn't happened to me, it took me years to deconstruct what I was listening to. And I was always bothered by it, but I didn't understand how much it was hurting me.
Yeah.
And him, honestly, And I've actually had this conversation with him in the last 10 years. I don't remember when exactly, but since our divorce, and we've been divorced 15 years. But I've had this conversation with him because one of my kids would go over there and he would tease this kid and he was joking. But they don't know how to take a joke. And they're autistic. They can't, I'll be like, it's not funny to them. And just because you're finding it's not funny to them, and you're not going to toughen them up. They're autistic. They're internalizing it. It hurts their feelings. They get bullied enough. It doesn't need to be from their dad. And he wasn't trying to bully him, And so he had to take accountability. And I did have to tell him, this is how it affected me when we were married. And I assume that it's affecting your kid and they don't know it either. And he did take accountability on it and work on it and understand. I don't know that he's perfect, but.
Yeah, who is?
No, yeah, who is? And, but it is one of those things. I mean, hopefully he's grown since then. I mean, it's been 15 years. I mean, there's a lot. I've changed. I'm a different person. Thank God. Because I was so boring.
Yeah. I really think one of the biggest things that's helped me with being judgmental, because everybody is in a certain way, even if it's just in your head, even if you don't say a word, even if you're judging somebody just in your mind, that's still something you can work on, because maybe you're not saying it out loud, and so maybe it's not necessarily affecting them or nobody else is hearing it around you, but that's still putting negativity in your brain. And that's not good. Why would you do that? You don't need to do that. And so I have to remind myself all the time, if something pops in my brain, even if I'm not saying it out loud, I correct myself. I don't just let it go.
Right.
I correct myself. I'm like, that's not a positive thought. That's not something why does that even matter? Why are you even thinking that?
I do that too.
And a lot of it are insecurities that have been bred into me. And so if I'm going to think it about myself, my brain is so used to rapid firing negativity about myself because of the things that have been programmed into it, that it will just automatically do it to other people too. Yeah. And I have to catch myself. I'm like, no, that's not that's not serving me. That's not serving anything. That's not positive. We don't need to have that in there. That needs to go out, and then I have to replace it with something else. I have to give myself grace. I have to be like that. We need to redirect, refocus. And working with kids has definitely helped a lot because I'm so sensitive to the way that I approach them and the way I talk to them, and also filtering and listening to how they're talking to themselves and how they're talking to others, because I have to redirect conversations and I have to fix, issues and problems, and I have to play the referee with, people who are getting into arguments or, whatever the case may be. And so working with kids has really helped me to realize how judgmental we really are in our brains, and how it stems from a very young age. Like your brain, you start very young having your brain programmed to what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and how we talk to each other and how we judge each other, and like it starts very, very young.
Yeah.
And usually it is because you get it from your parents and how they act and how they talk about people and everybody that you hear around you. I mean, they're a little sponge at that age.
Yeah.
So everything, you just soak it all in. And so being able to see it from that perspective, from different age groups as they're getting older, and the way they think and the way that what matters to them, how it changes. Because we have kindergartners to, teenagers.
Right.
And so I'm with them all day. And so I see this vast array of how people handle situations and how they're talking and how they talk to their peers and what's important to them and the things that they talk about each other and how they cut each other down or help build each other up.
Right.
And it's so different from, the stepping stones of how you get older. Mm-hmm. And especially with the older ones, it is mind-boggling to me, the things that matter to them.
Yes.
And I'm like, why does that matter?
Yeah, why do you care?
Why? I just don't understand it. It boggles my mind.
I never understood, why does it bother you what kind of shoes I wear?
Exactly. That's why
I've never understood that.
And I get all the time, and it really doesn't bother me because I've gotten to the point where, I have to have tough skin, because you have to have tough skin around kids, because they say anything that they want.
Yeah.
But they'll ask me all the time, like, why are you wearing that? Why are you doing that? I'm like, because I wanted to. I had them ask me because I wear my little red hat, my little bear hat. I love it. I have a pink one too. And I'll have some people that are like, oh, I love that. But I'll have some people like, why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I wanted to. And I've realized that the ones that ask me why I'm wearing something are the ones that are very insecure.
Yeah.
And they're very weary about self-expression.
Yeah.
They feel very suppressed.
Well, and they're probably being suppressed at home themselves.
Yes, because they'll ask me why I'm doing something because they do like it, because they see it as something like, oh, why is she so, like, she's bold? Like, why would she wear that?
Yeah.
And that's so they ask me, why are you wearing that? And I tell them because it makes me happy, because I like it. I wanted to wear this today. It makes me happy. This is what I wanted to do. I can express myself. I can wear what I want to wear. Mm-hmm. I can do what I want to do. And that's good. And it's like almost to them, it's like a foreign thing.
Yeah.
They're like, you can do that? Like, you're not worried about what anybody
think for yourself.
thinks about you.
Yeah.
You're just wearing that crazy bear hat because you can. I'm like, yeah.
I sure can.
And it doesn't matter because I love it and I'm happy with it. And anything you do like that, anything like when it comes to sports or when it comes to what color you like whatever it is, like, you don't have to worry about what other people think about your choices because they can be just yours. And even if they're good or bad, that doesn't matter. They're still your choices and you get to make them. Yeah. And you can't let anybody else dictate what you do. But it really, when it dawned on me, because I get it so often with kids, especially the young ones, they'll ask me why I'm doing something or why I'm wearing something. And at first I took it as a negative, obviously, because it sounds like that. Like, why are you doing that? But it really wasn't. That's somebody else's thoughts that got put into their head that are now coming out of their mouth. Right. They're not really their thoughts. I mean, they are, but they were put there.
Put them there.
They were put there by somebody else. And so that's somebody else's question coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
So that makes me, I know that somebody asked them that, somebody else made them feel like they weren't allowed to express themselves, or they had to be self-conscious about themselves. And so that's why they're not understanding why I would not be self-conscious about the things that I do and what I wear.
It's funny because this is kind of ironic. Zaylee and I talked today, and she told me that her boyfriend, you met her little boyfriend that one day, and he said they listened to the podcast she was on. She wanted him to listen to the podcast she was on. And he said, your mom's friend's got a lot of tattoos. Why does she have so many tattoos? And she was like, I don't know, because she likes them. And she goes, I don't know. She said this to me. I don't know why I asked that. Like, why wouldn't she have a bunch of tattoos? Now, granted, I am surrounded by very close friends, all heavily tattooed Zaylee's whole life. Her grandpa has like 20 tattoos. Like, I have quite a few, you know? And she was like, I don't understand the question, basically.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And she was like, and they're real good. Like,
Yeah, it's not like I'm covered in prison
yeah,
hats.
but he didn't understand that because that's not what he's used to.
Yeah.
That's not his normal social norm or whatever the case is. I was always growing up wanted to do the opposite of what everyone was doing. I always wanted to dress the opposite of everybody else and stand out. And then as soon as other people started dressing me like me, I would try to stand out a different way or whatever the case is. Now I get older and I'm like, that was ballsy. I didn't even mean to be ballsy. I don't even, you know. And my mom was kind of, I'm not going to say she was judgmental, but she was a little bit. I mean, she was a Southern belle, man. She was dressed to the nines at all times. And I'm not. I have no problem going to the store looking homeless, basically. I will wear my pajamas in public. Y'all.
Sure will.
Yeah, no problem. I have no problem with it. So I did beat that curse, but she wasn't like talking negative about other women or their size or any of that kind of stuff. It was more like lifestyle choices, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in even doing that. Like, I'm just happy you're happy.
Right? Exactly.
You know, I do have a kind of funny story on that. I'm gonna be real careful not to make it political.
Okay.
But it has to do with this to a degree-ish. But, you know, you have those things at work. That, you know, there's a program that's called Workday, and a lot of people have Workday at their work. It's a pretty common program used across the United States for larger companies. And Workday has all kinds of options you can choose to use. It might have where you can access your benefits, you can access your payroll, you can access, email, you can access whatever. But part of it, the things they offer, is kind of a social media thing. And basically, it's kind of like Facebook Lite. It's only for people at work. Every person at the company is automatically on it, but you don't have to participate in it.
Yeah.
And it's not something you necessarily go to. It shows up in your email. There's not a lot. Like, people don't really use it. But everyone, it's like we just started using it this fiscal year. I want to say February. So like during Black History Month, they did a Black History Month thing where people post Happy Black History Month, or, and they would maybe they'd put a fact.
Yeah.
And then you can comment, and it's going to show you like a profile as if it's like Facebook, but it's not. It's your company profile. It's your real name. It's where you're located within the company. And I work for a very large company. It's what your position is. It's your extension. It's your cell phone for work. Like you can call anyone you want to that way. And, and if you want to post on it, it is real clear you're going to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Should you do anything against company policy or HR.
Yeah.
And so no one really uses it a lot, but it'll be like, during Women's Month, that was a big one for, Women's Month, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
And there was a lot. And I was like, because, I work in a man-dominated field. So there's not as many. There might be one woman per location at the most. And, every once in a while there's one or two, but that's about it. And so there was quite a few. I just want to thank the women, so-and-so and so-and-so that I work with. They really keep this branch together. They really do this. They really do that. And it was really cool, Yeah. This month is Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody put a post, and it was like a pride flag heart. And it was like, Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
That's it. The comments became political.
Oh, no.
And religious and all this. And it's like, come on. You're not on Facebook. You're at work. Just walk away. Just walk away. If you don't agree with it, just don't look at it. I don't know. Just don't. You're at work. There's no one putting porn on there.
Right.
You don't actually have to see two people doing something you don't want to see. It's literally a meme with a heart, with a rainbow, Well, a friend of mine within the company is part of that community. And so they saw it, and I saw it. And we immediately were like, did you see this? Yeah, I saw it. I saw it too. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you, just walk away.
Yeah.
You know, why do you care? Why do you care? Really? And so she comments on there after so many hateful comments. Hey, this is a work site.
Yeah, just reminding y'all.
And I'm just reminding, that's what she said. I'm just reminding y'all that some of your colleagues are part of this community and you might not even know it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, be aware of how you're making your colleagues feel and what you're putting out there in the world. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people still, I posted a ally. That's and good. It said, proud to work with the members of this community that I work with, and thank you for all that you do for me.
Yeah.
Ally. You know, mm-hmm. And I'm vocal ally, everyone knows. And so that's it. And then she reports, and her dad works within the company as well. And so both of them report it. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to also, because this has to come off. Like, we got to get this off. This is, you know, every time she logs into her computer, she's seeing hate.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be there.
At work, you know. And so I screenshot it and sent it to HR. She screenshot it in HR. I was like, hey, not trying to get anyone in trouble, but let's take this down. Let's not do this. And you know, HR just sent us a little thing back, and it was like, oh, we're so sorry, we're going to handle it. Okay. And everybody, and what he said was, everybody is held responsible for any policy, any company policy breaking. Mm-hmm. I was like, good. And I'm nosy as shit. So I'm like, we're a very large company. I'm clicking on all of them to see what their position in the company is.
Yeah.
And they're all very lower level employees. And I'm thinking, you're never getting promoted. Like,
yeah, why'd you do that to yourself?
Like, why would you do this to yourself?
Not a smart move.
And so they eventually started removing the comments, and you can see them like log in, and you can see who logs in. It's like made change, and only certain administrators have that ability, right? And so they start making the changes, and they're deleting. They deleted every single thing except my post. That's it. Even the main post, though, which did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But she did respond to a few people, and she'd be like,
yeah.
You're on a work thing.
Yeah.
Think about what you're doing. She didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. And it came down to it was only mine that was left on there. And I just thought, that is the hate. Like, what's it doing to you? Mm-hmm. In what way did this affect you at work? You could have just literally scrolled by it. Yeah. It's not in your face all the time. Yeah. Nothing.
Just like if you scrolled past the women's one, or just like if you scrolled past Black History Month because you didn't want to participate in that. You have that right to just scroll right past it. You don't have to support it. You just need to scroll right by.
Right.
You need to treat that the exact same way.
Just keep on scrolling. Just keep on scrolling. I did laugh though, and I'm going to leave it on this, but my coworker friend, I love her. She says, during Women's Month, it was blowing up. Like, they were all about the women. It's the most, like, of all of them, it's been the one that's been the most, like, I saw the most posts. And it was men and women posting thanks for other coworkers or whatever the case is. And so it just was blowing up nonstop, right? And whereas the gay one, that's literally the only post. Mm-hmm. And this is, like, all day, every day. It was taking over our email because it comes via, like, an email thread. Yeah. And so we're, like, halfway through the month probably, and my coworker says, I'm so sick of Women's Month and I'm a lesbian. I was like, that's so funny. I'm still laughing. Like a month.
That's a good one.
But anyways, I'm just saying, little things like that add up. That's part of judgment. Like, keep it to yourself. Are you going to turn them straight? Are you going to change someone's mind because you post? Do they care that it's against your religion? And I'm not just talking about pride. I'm talking in general. I'm talking, you know, anything that's like your judge. Get out your job. Just shut up. Go to church. Pray on your own. Do your own thing. Talk to your people in your circle.
Right.
I'm not going to change you. You're not going to change me. It's just like talking politics. I'm not going to go on social media and change your mind any more than you're going to change mine.
Yeah.
So just keep your hate to yourself.
Right.
Just go stew in your hate by yourself.
And hate is never going to change anybody's mind.
No.
If you're going to change somebody's mind, it's going to be with love.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with kindness and acceptance. That's the only way you're going to change anybody's mind about anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, oh my God, they really hate this. I think I'm straight now.
Right?
Oh my God, they really don't like women. I think I'm a man now. Like, come on. Oh, you don't like National Hispanic Heritage Month? I guess I'm white. Like, this is not going to happen. You stupid ass.
Right.
That's my little take on that. Yeah. I didn't mean to go off tangent, but it's not. It's not off tangent. It's the same freaking idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Judgment, it has a wide umbrella.
It really does. It really does.
And that's one of the biggest things you can do to work on what you're dealing with and how you can minimize your hate and your judgment is to figure out how large that umbrella incorporates and where you fall underneath that.
Well, and one thing that, affects people that they don't understand is that when you are going around and you are preaching something, and I don't even necessarily mean a religion, it could be like, say you really like classical music, like you really love classical music, and you think that country music is crap. Mm-hmm. And if every time you see it, you're like, that's crap. Do you think that makes me want to listen to your music?
Yeah.
No. But if you were like, oh, you want to hear something I really like? I'd be like, yeah, let me hear it.
Try this out.
Tell me about it. Like this, you're going to get you want me to see the value in what you care about and you love, and that's going to do. Same thing with religion, though. If you want me to believe in you and your religion and your, whatever religion it is, if you're coming at me with hate or you're just, even if it's not coming at me, but if you're coming at the world with really negativity, why would I want to visit that?
I don't want nothing to do with that.
Why would I want, why? And what will I think of your minister?
Yeah.
What will I think of it? And I know sinners belong in church. I absolutely agree. But I also believe that just like anything else, work, anything else, if you're bringing negative into the world, you are the one, it's you that reflects on. I'm not looking at that person going, ooh, well, they are a little chubby. No, I'm like, that bitch is calling people chubby. Mm-hmm. Like I don't give a shit if she's chubby or whatever you think about her. What I care about is that you are representing God or your school. Maybe you're a teacher or maybe you're a real estate agent. Now I'm never going to buy a house from you. Mm-hmm. Like that is what I'm taking from it is I don't want to do business or do social engagements or do religious engagements with this person because every time I'm around them, I hear such hateful things.
Right.
Judgmental things, whatever. Being judgmental really makes you look like the fool.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't make me like, you're right, their shoes are stupid, yours are awesome. No, I'm like, you're a dumbass. Now I'm judgmental, calling you a dumbass. See, now you made me a bitch. Fuck.
It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. Just being honest. Right. I'm not saying I'm not judgmental sometimes. Obviously, we all trip up.
If you think that you're not, you are lying to yourself.
Definitely. But I do think that it's something you have to make a conscious decision because you're screwing with your own mental health and you're screwing with your kids' mental health and you're screwing with your spouse's mental health and you're screwing with your friends' mental health because they are listening to you.
You need to, you have to really watch what you're saying. And if how you talk to one person, how you talk to about other people or situations to one person is going to change the way that they view you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, oh, they talk about other people like this. Oh, that's the way that they operate. That's how they're going to talk about people. So you can't just think that, oh, this is my safe group of friends. I can talk about people however I want to talk about because they're going to view you in a different way because they see the way that you're talking about people.
I had someone one time, and this is fairly recently in the last 3 months that said in front of I was with somebody that has a grandchild that's intersex, that was born intersex, and they were legit born with male and female genitalia, and it's a child. And somebody in front of them and me made the comment, there's only two genders, God didn't make mistakes, blah, blah, blah. In front of grandma with an intersex grandchild. Mm-hmm. And they don't ever even know what they did to this woman.
Yeah.
They don't know how they just affected this grandma. And this intersex child, just so you know, has to take medications to keep this child alive. Because sometimes, it's not always the case, aspects of being intersex can create chemical imbalances and other problems that are life-threatening. And so you have to be medicated to maintain your life. And that is the case with this child. And here this person is talking shit and saying God doesn't, you're calling this woman's grandchild a mistake because you're ignorant and don't understand intersex. And I did, it's one of those moments where I didn't know if it's not my business to put her business out there.
Yeah.
So I knew, and she knew I knew. And we're both like, and she's just this old lady. She's not going to say anything, And I'm just like,
shut it down. Shut it down.
And I was like, well, I just don't agree with anything you're saying right now, and I'd appreciate if you'd stop.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and quit.
Little do they know what they were really doing.
Yeah.
And so I just, that's all I want to say.
That's another thing under the umbrella is ignorance.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
You can judge people without even know you're doing it because you're ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the particular person that said this is actually a minister. And
let me put on my surprise face.
And someone I thought was a really nice person. And I really actually had really a high impression. And honestly, their ignorance might literally be ignorance. Like they don't understand that. I mean, if you've never lived that, I've never lived it. I don't. I've never had to deal with it. And the grandma told me when we first discussed it a year ago, or however long it was, they were like, I didn't understand it either. And I held my own ignorances until this child was born and reality hit me in the face.
Right.
And it was no longer something I'd heard about, but it was something in my world. And that is their only grandchild and will be their only grandchild. And can you imagine? So y'all gotta be careful what you put out there.
Really do.
That's the moral of this story. Because the only person that makes it look like an ass is you.
Yep. So true.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Love it.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.